have a morning routine every day before work?
Touching my balls and stuff.
How do you do that exercise?
Well, people in Turkey, they always do that.
There is no such a thing like 100% heterosexual.
You have 50% more chances to be happy.
How do you think will NASA bring peace?
And also you have to kill other creatures to drink blood.
They're not sponsoring this podcast, right?
This is the longest relationships I have.
We all know the guy Jesus. He told that. So
And they need some precious resource that only Earth has.
gay people, especially gay man people, they come. Of course, they're gonna suck everything out of the earth. They're gonna kill everyone. Yes, hardcore.
Let's get back to Montenegro.
No. I like our intro.
Boom, we are alive.
Oh,
Welcome.
so good to be alive.
It's good to be alive.
Yeah.
Actually, I think about it lately a lot because not in the sense that I compare my life to some other people like living in Africa, suffering from some disorders and stuff. No, I just, try to focus on what I have in my life and try to appreciate that. It's not always easy because if you lose focus and don't look around and appreciate what you have, you can get down into depression and stuff like that. But it's very important to do this exercise just to, memorize that, okay, I have my life is good. And I appreciate what I have. This is very important, I think.
Yeah, I think so. How do you do that exercise? You said you're trying to focus on what you are appreciating. How do you do that exactly?
Well, it's a good question. Well, sometimes, I ask myself, why am I so depressed? Why something is losing meaning to me? Why I look at my job as at some meaningful job? Because it is meaningful, especially to my colleagues who say, Bogdan, you do a great job. But for some reason, I'm losing. And probably, because of what? Because I don't have enough physical activity. That's why I bought a membership to the gym. And after the second set workout, it was much better. I felt much, much better. How do I do that? It's a good question. Because when I get down again into depression, I ask myself why. It was all good. And how can I get into the same state? Why am I feeling suffering or depression? Because I realize that everything in my life is basically okay. Yes, sometimes I lose the meaning, but then I ask myself okay, but it was fine just yesterday. It was so good. Why this day cannot be good? And then what helps me is physical activity a lot, because this sounds so pathetic and non-original, but guys, this is so important, really. Every time I realize that this is very important to have just, 15, 20 minutes of physical activity. Actually, they say, the other day I was listening to this Harvard University research that was held for 80 years, and they were trying to research happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So to make a long story short, as a result, they realized that what affects your happiness is your community first. So it's not money. If you're able to surround yourself with people who trust you and whom you trust, and with people who do the same thing as you, who share the same, mentality, beliefs, mindset, you're going to be probably 50%. You have 50% more chances to be happy than everybody else who don't. And also they realized that if you have a spouse, it enhances, prolongs your lifespan up to 25%. So people who live alone suffer probably depressions and stuff like that. That's why they cannot feel happy to the full, So, and also, why am I saying that? Where I was.
Maybe something that's important for you.
Maybe. But anyway, in this research, also they mentioned the physical activity. Yes, that's where I was. So, and they said just 15, 20 minutes of exercises a day reduce the heart diseases down to 20% or 25%. And if you make more than 20 minutes of physical exercises, it prolongs your lifespan even more, like up to 30% or something like that. So this Harvard, you can easily Google it, the Harvard University research of happiness that was held for 80 years. Like,
Wow.
and yeah, like in total, because they were collecting a lot of different researches that were held on the same topic before this research. So they like made a compilation of different research, and in total they have 3+ million people who participated in this. So it's like, yeah, very cool research. Google it, it's worth it. Yeah. So anyway, welcome back to Istanbul.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
Thank you. It's feel good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it always feels good in Istanbul, especially when you're hosting. Yeah, always a special experience for me, I would say. Yeah, it was a very, I think, unusual intro to a podcast. I'm not an expert. That's my first time being on a podcast. But yeah,
What do you mean introduction?
like the thing about what you've told right now about the research about the happiness study.
Oh yeah,
that's super interesting. Yeah, I would love to get deeper in that topic. So yeah, it always like fascinates me how people can do some things for so long, like do a research for 80 years, like commit to a thing and continue doing that. I cannot do that for even, I don't know, a couple of hours, like straight sometimes. Yeah, and people do things for 80 years or more. Of course,
that's
not
scientists.
the same. Yeah, but yeah, scientists are cool.
That's why I love science, and I have never had a scientist in my closed circle, but I love them anyway, because you know why? Because they realized what they would like to devote their life to, and they like invest a lot of time and efforts into some research, because, and I respect them because they want to know more, you know, they would like to like unleash the power of research in order to understand what's happening like around the world. What is there? Like, why does it work like that? Like curious people, I really respect them because, and yeah, like science.
Science. Yeah.
It's alive. But anyway, so you arrived from Montenegro.
Right.
And you permanently live in Montenegro. And
I would be very careful with the word permanent, using that for Montenegro. I can say that I have spent some time there. Currently, I have some resident there, not a permanent one. It's, I would say, like it's not permanent. We are not permanent.
But I mean,
beings in general.
It's true. But I mean, if you live somewhere more than a quarter or something, you can kind of say that you're live there permanently.
Okay.
Because, you know, you don't have to make a visa run and stuff like that. It means like a permanent place of living because, come on, man, you rent a beautiful apartment there and you have already friends in some community. So you actually, yeah, like a local guy, and you have a residence permit there, kind of.
Yeah, I do have my like
visa
card. It's called Borovac in local language. Yeah.
Is it Serbian language that they speak?
It's Montenegrin language. That's different language to Serbian.
But it's based on Serbian, no? Or have some connection.
I'm not sure how would Montenegrin people react. Some Montenegrin people call this language Serbian, but I know that they are very similar. I know that in Montenegrin there is one different letter in the alphabet, and also they have kind of the same alphabet, but the Serbians use Cyrillic and Montenegro use Latin. But people from Serbia and Montenegro can understand each other easily with any problems.
Wow, so Serbian use Cyrillics?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So their letters like resemble Russian letters?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. And as far as I remember, Russian language, like Cyrillics, they were based on the Greek alphabet, kind of, because I don't remember.
I'm not an expert on this matter, so
anyway,
better Google that.
But cool. But have you ever thought about Montenegro in regards that it consists of two words, Monte and Negro stands for black, and Monte stands for mountain?
Yes, that's basically the origins of the name of the country.
Yeah. And, you know, maybe it can sound silly, but they have Negro and they're in their name of the country, but it refers not to black people. It refers to mountains. And as far as I remember, as a legend says, the sailormen who were traveling around in this Mediterranean Sea, they were traveling around the shores of Montenegro, and they saw the forests on the mountains that was kind of black. So it didn't have green color, it had more black color. That's why they called this, oh, look at these black mountains, and that's why Montenegro, right?
Yeah, that's one of the legends, that on stormy weather, when travelers sailed near there in the Kotor Bay, they saw the Lovchen mountain, the one of famous mountains in Montenegro, and that time it was covered in like old pine trees that in stormy weather and clouds looked like they're black. Now there are no pine trees on the Lovchen mountain, so we don't know for sure if it was the true origin or not, but I've heard that legend as well.
Yeah, the legend says,
Most of the time the mountains are pretty much green.
Well, yeah, that's cool. Cool to know. Well, I've been to Montenegro how many? 1 or 2 times? I don't really remember.
You've been I saw you there once. So I don't know, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. But do you like living there? As far as I remember from what you told me, is that it's kind of calm way of living, and it looks more like a village than a big town.
True.
A big city, sorry. And it looks more like a town, a small town, than a big city, and you have a lot of time to reflect, to see things, to think about your life and stuff. Is that correct?
That's a difficult question, because things that you mentioned, I think they are more based on the person than on the surroundings. So some people will think and reflect about their life whenever they have a possibility. They can do that in busy Istanbul or London or New York City. But I understand what you're talking about. Surroundings, like an environment, is in Montenegro are pretty much, leading, I would say, to that sort of lifestyle, because the whole population of Montenegro officially is 600,000 people, which is
not much.
Not much.
The whole country.
In the whole country, right? And like each city has no more than 50,000. I think in Podgorica, in the capital, so 50,000 people. That's not a lot, right? So it's a town. It's a decent town, but it's not like a huge, metropolis, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of nature, like I would say, like wild nature, the one that is not really touched a lot by humans. There are a lot of spaces where people can be on their own. So there is a lot of, like buildings, residential buildings, houses, etc. So everyone have a lot of space, and everyone have this, flexibility, and freedom. So except the touristic season. Season, everything is packed like hell. Yeah, especially on the seashore. I'm living in the city of Budva, which is one of the resort places in Montenegro, because there is like beaches and
beaches.
And yes, yeah.
Does Montenegro have beaches?
I don't know.
Like real beaches.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about. What's the definition of a real beach?
Okay, never mind.
Okay,
I think it has. Anyway.
Okay, I think you'll find if you if you're lucky enough.
What a stupid joke.
Yes.
Sorry for interrupting, bro.
So in touristic season it's packed, yeah. But now, for example, in the winter, I have a morning routine every day before work. I having like a short walk. I have a waterfall not far away from the place where I live. I just like a road a little bit to the mountains, and it's a little bit out of town, so there are still some residential buildings and houses, but sometimes I can, like on my way there, it's maybe 800 meters from my place or something like that. Sometimes the only living beings that I can meet in the morning are just cats or crows or something like that, right? And it's kind of sort of cool. I'm starting to getting that vibe. Sometimes I go there and listen to music and I can sing along, knowing that no one really gonna, hear that, and it's kind of cool. So you don't have that in a big city.
So you mean when you would like to sing to yourself?
Yeah. I can just do and sing along.
And be weirdo.
Yeah.
Well, people in Turkey, they always do that, man.
Oh, right.
Like you see all these, people that are working in grocery stores or just selling something on the market, on the streets. And they always so relaxed and
it's amazing.
Yeah, they take it easy, the life.
It's actually very good because singing, it's one of the easiest way to get in alternate state of mind, of consciousness, right? So singing actually brings you a little bit out of this world, if you know what I mean. It helps you to process your emotions better, both positive and hard emotions. And when you sing, you actually live through the emotions, and if you're happy, then they make you I know, even maybe more happier. When you're sad or stressed, it can actually get your stress out and feel better as well. So it's singing is cool. It's very therapeutic. So therapeutic.
Exactly. That's why people listen to the music. And I think I know nobody in my life. I have never seen a person that doesn't listen to some music. So, and when you listen to the music, I think I also
Ekaterina Schulman.
The mature man.
Yeah. She's not listening to any music.
Really? She told that?
Yeah, in a recent show.
Really?
Yeah.
How can you be so unemotional to music? What is she listening? Well, she's probably too busy woman. I mean, I respect her very much because she's how old? How old is she? 50? But she looks like a 30-year-old girl.
She looks good, yeah.
And she's so smart.
Absolutely.
That's why I think a lot of people fop on her. When they are
that's my cringe protection.
Cringe protection screen is on. Yeah. But I mean, she's so smart. There is a term that is called sapiosexual. Do you know what does that mean? So no. Sapiosexual, I discovered this term when I enrolled and bought a membership to a dating app. I'm not going to say what is the app exactly, but anyway.
They're not sponsoring this podcast,
right? Yeah, not yet, guys, but connect with me if you... I'm definitely going to make an ad of you because I really love this application. I don't use it right now because I have a girlfriend. So, and everything in my life is so perfect now. But before that, I needed to, get into this app a lot. And I met a lot of cool people there, usually people in this app were looking for sex, but not only. They were looking for some relationships and, some trusted talk. And the quality of people that I met there was really cool. And that's how I met, well, I cannot say they're my friends now because we are not, communicate a lot. But I spent great time with them. So anyway, getting back to this, where am I?
So you're a dating app.
Dating app. So in the filters, when you get in, you can see filters. And you can put on the filter. It's called sapiosexual.
Okay.
So sapiosexual, I started Googling what is that. And sapiosexual are people who are attracted sexually to smart people. And then I realized that's who I am, I think. Because I think I'm kind of 40-50% sapiosexual. Because when I see a smart girl who speaks shit and, know what she's talking about, some specific area or domain, I I love this girl. I mean, well, that's why when I met Paula, I think, well, she's quite smart.
Does it apply only to girls?
No, it can girls can be sapiosexual, boys can be sapiosexual.
No, for you, are you only sexually attracted to smart girls?
Well, as far as I know myself, yes, I'm 100% heterosexual.
There is no such a thing 100% heterosexual.
I know.
Man.
They say it's a spectrum,
right?
Well, okay, I can, if you want, I can share one story. I actually shared it with you. So for those who are listening, Alex is my good friend of mine. We know each other since the first grade of school, since primary school.
Like
So
23 years already.
23 years. Yeah. Holy shit. Like this is the longest relationships I have. Yeah. And so you know this story well, but so once upon a time, I decided to find a good massage master because that time I was doing sports and I realized that, oh shit, I need to like relieve my back pain. So I started Googling it and I found a guy who started to sell me like, hey man, come to my place. This is the greatest place. People from all over the city coming to me because this is a great sport massage that you're gonna love. And I'm like, okay, if the guy is selling it so cool, why not to try? So I came there. He started massaging me, and then so at some point he says like things like, okay man, so I'm a massage master. I'm like a professional, and I would like, so I mix different, I combine different massage techniques. So that is why I know that the best massage is the massage of the whole body. So in order to create this therapeutic effect, the best way, we're gonna massage all your body. Are you okay with that? I'm like, okay, I'm totally fine. I didn't know what he meant by that, like totally. But at some point, so he started from my shoulders, then came to my head, then he started massaging my legs and then back, and then he started to massage the inside part of my legs, touching my balls. And at this moment, he said, like, man, don't you mind if I'm gonna from time to time touch your balls because I need to get to your belly. When me lying on my belly, he needed to reach that to make the massage of the belly, and he started like touching my balls and stuff. And of course, like at some point, the reaction of your body is a boner, so I got this boner, and I'm like lying on my belly with a boner and like
Not very
underneath.
Comfortable, right? Lying on your belly.
Kind of, exactly. So, and at some point, he took my dick in his hand and started jerking off. And I'm like, oh shit, where am I? Like, how did my life lead me to that? Like, and what should I do now? And the thoughts in my head was like, the initial reaction is like, okay, like fight back. But like his appearance, he was wearing this doctor's like medical robe, and he looked very intelligent. And while he was doing me all this massage, he was telling me about everything about my body and muscles, what muscles connects to what muscle and how it all works. So he was really smart guy.
He was really smart guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
sapiosexual.
Sapiosexual. No, I mean, no, man. That's not. You connect things that are not connected in reality. No, I don't mean that I was like sexually attracted to him because he was so smart. No, I just trusted him because he created this appearance of a smart guy who knows what he's doing. So I decided to relieve and like to totally trust him. I'm like, okay, so if he's jerking me off, like, okay, I'm gonna like go through that. So, and then the massage, it took 2 hours, 30 minutes or something like that. That was the longest massage I had. And I was so relaxed, especially when I ejaculated. I'm not sure, like, if we're gonna, maybe we're gonna cut this.
I don't know, like, will, YouTube, like...
No, I'm absolutely open to anything. Well, I mean, I respect any discussion. And I think these kind of things, they shouldn't be covered. But of course, it depends on you as a person. If you don't like, if it's too personal to you, it's not really personal to me. I told this about, not strangers, but to my close friends and stuff. So anyway, in the end, when it all ended, I like said like, hey, Aleks Ivanovich, or how was his name? I don't remember. So I was addressing him like the full name, like to a respected man. And I asked him like, what happened? Like what it was, what should I do with this experience now? And he goes like, oh man, but you're a man. It's the usual reaction of your body when somebody touches your balls. So it's good. But if you have a boner, we need to relieve that because we cannot go on with massage because you will be, tight at that moment. But at the massage, the best, like the first task to do for a massage master is to relieve you and make you feel totally relaxed, like 100%, in order to get to the underneath muscles, not on the surface, but also underneath. So that's why. And I said, like, okay, so why am I telling this story? So
we were speaking about the sapiosexual. Thing.
So at some point, well, I repeated this massage for a couple of times, and then somehow, like, I really respected this guy because he could really relieve my pain a lot. So I realized that he is a master, like he's a professional, and he repeated to me twice, like, that he is not faggot or something, and he's not trying to, well, I mean, this is, yeah, okay, sorry guys, I respect, like, all we discussed genders, and we discussed what else we discussed, what do we call it,
sexuality.
I respect all that. Like, I mean, I'm saying what he was saying to me. I'm not, this is not my site. This is the citation, okay? So I respect everybody, really. Like,
every faggot, right?
Exactly. So no offense, guys. I really respect everybody. Yeah, I'm like, truly, I'm respecting. So, and he's like, okay, man, I don't have problems. He said to me, like, I don't have problems with that. Like, I'm totally okay. I'm not gonna, harass you sexually and stuff like that. So he repeated it twice. And I said, okay, like, he's really doctor. So I should distract myself from his gender and just, like, go through this massage like with a professional, not with a man. I shouldn't look at him as a man or woman. I should look at him as at a massage master, So, and it helped me to, relieve and relax.
Yeah.
So,
like, it's maybe not fine and good that we do have a lot of those biases with us, a lot of this, imprinted propaganda in our, like, brains, that we're just, like, so used to associate, like, gay people, especially gay men people, because I think for lesbian there is much softer politics in Russia, and the country that we're both originally from. And, like, in Russia you have this super homophobic propaganda everywhere that, to be gay, it's bad. It's like, there is, like,
it's risky for your life.
It's risky for your life. Now, actually, it's, like, even
impossible.
No, it's not impossible, but it's, like, you can be
dangerous,
outlaw, right?
Dangerous.
And yeah, you can have, like, officially, like, legalize your relationship. You just can have, like, a lot of restriction there. And we've been growing in that, and even after we get out, it's still kind of, it's still there, and it's good to be aware of those biases. Yeah. And yeah, we're still learning, like, how to be, like, open to the modern world with people of different sexualities, because, like, in Russia there was no possibilities, like, legally, like, there's just one sexuality, that's it. Like, that's all the others, they're wrong, something wrong with them, they're sin or something like that. So I understand. It's like we didn't been exposed to many, like, people in the LGBT community there, and we don't have that experience talking to those people, right? So I'm just only learning, also how to
discuss this.
How to discuss it? Yeah.
Exactly.
I always feel very uncomfortable. I have, like, friends that are gay, and I have, like, colleagues, and, like, gay people around me. Not really a lot in my life. So, and that's something that I'm currently exploring and interested in. Yeah.
Well, you said it. Like, it's kind of difficult also for me to discuss these things because we don't discuss them often, and it's really difficult for me to, to put it into the discussion. I don't really know how to manage all these words, and because right now the society is so, what is the right word? Sensitive to these questions in some parts of the world. That's why you should correctly choose the words, and that's what we're alluding to do. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
but we
hardcore
we
topic.
fucked up. So sorry for for that. That was cringe. So
Maybe it was
yeah,
cringe to somebody. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We love everybody. Really, like we respect all the people, all the genders, sexualities, nationalities, religious beliefs, anything, because we are just humans. We are humans.
yeah, true.
When I met Paula, my current girlfriend, and she traveled from Turkey to back to Spain, where she's originally from, and she was sending me some pics, and she was sending the pics into the mirror, and I could see some parts of her room, and in her room there were posters of different, well, for some interesting things, for example, like antifascista, something like that. So it's like in Spain they have some kind of I don't know. Was it a football team or some society? So anti-fascist community or something. Okay. So these flags, and also there was one poster that said something like we're all just humans, stuff like that. So the meaning was that we are all, despite of all these differences that we have, we're all humans. So that's what we should remember, I think. First, when we interact with people, not to look at their beliefs, religious beliefs or any other beliefs, but treat them as humans first. Of course, there are good people and bad people, and that's how the world works. You know, there are also some outcasts that are in the world, and I don't know how to treat this. I'm not an expert in that. Nobody knows, because we still have prisoners. We still have people who enroll themselves into some terrorist groups and stuff like that. I don't know what they believe in, but that's hardcore.
Yes, hardcore.
Let's get back to Montenegro.
No, I wanted to have one take. I think maybe it will get us even even further from Montenegro. But yeah, you said there are good people and bad people. Maybe I respect your opinion, but
Okay.
no, I don't want to to start a fight about that. Of course, I feel like there's not a good and bad people. There are happy or I don't know, okay people, and very unhappy people, and people who are hurt or have been hurt, and then who becoming maybe dangerous because they're very hurt, and they are hurt so much that they won't hurt others just to feel better.
There is a saying in English language: hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
So people who were hurt other people.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
And that's not about good and bad. You said we're all humans, so we all have those bad and good qualities. There are no absolutely good people. Like maybe some saints or stuff, but from some point, maybe not from the birth, but yeah, maybe someone. I don't know those people. We all have those good and evil inside us, but we all want to be loved. We want all to be appreciated. We all want to be understood, and
respected.
Respected, and
that's true.
And yeah, our needs to be met, the basic, to be safe, to be loved, to be secure, and all people are the same in these things all over the world, in different cultures, countries, and time zones. Everybody have those things, and I don't know, it's always been such a unlogic thing to me. Any sort of discrimination, like from when I was a child, when I heard that women 100 years ago didn't have the same rights,
the right to vote.
Why can't you see that they're the same humans?
Yeah.
When I learned that there was a slavery in States just 2 centuries ago, and people were in chains just because their skin color was different. Can you see that they are people? When I learn about Nazis killing thousands of Jews just because they are Jews, I'm like, can't you see there's people there crying, they're hurt. How can you do they're the same like you? Can you feel that someone comes to you and said, now we're going to kill your family because they're, I don't know, whatever, Americans or I don't know, Germans, like women, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
How can you like say that like gay love is wrong love? Can you feel like if someone comes to you and say, okay, if you're a heterosexual man, like you are not allowed to love women, how would you feel?
Yeah.
How can you be so, I don't know, blind to these basic things? It's just like so easy to understand.
It's true, but I think all these roots are deep into the history of development of societies, countries, and yeah, I think it's rapidly changing right now because right now we have access to information. In most of the world, we have internet connections. So when people have access and they can see and compare how they live, they can compare themselves to people that live in other countries and see the differences and like say, like, okay, maybe something is wrong with my life. Maybe I'm not respected enough. Anything else. And I hope it's gonna change.
Yeah.
Like I have to believe. I want to believe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Me too. I'm trying to incorporate it in my life, in in my environment, to just treat people like I would like to they treat me. That's a golden rule. We all know the guy Jesus. He told that. So that's, I think, very comfortable way of living. Yeah, it's just it's easy and it's paying also.
Yes. And that's why actually I decided to record a podcast, my own, to host it, because the communication and the dialogue is very important, especially when you have some misunderstandings or some cultural differences. And you're a psychologist. Even
I'm
better.
not a psychologist. No.
Come on. Well, okay, we're gonna get back to this question. So anyway, we need a conversation. Everybody needs a conversation. And you know better than me, when you discuss something openly, you feel much better. If you like keep it to yourself, if you hold it inside, especially for a long time, it's gonna burst. And the same applies to every way of life. Like that's why the conversation is very important, and that's what we are doing now. And I'm gonna do this with many other people of any gender, any sexuality, any religious beliefs, anything. I'm gonna ask them questions to share this publicly and to have this dialogue all over the world. That's why we're doing it in English, because
it's more accessible.
And more people are gonna hear, of course. Well, it still impresses me so much why this small earth has so many countries and so many languages. It's really small, right? In comparison to all of other universe, it's so fucking small, but still we have so many differences. How is it even possible? I don't really know.
Human brain. Yeah, it's amazing. It's
so versatile, right?
It makes so much things out of nothing. Like languages.
Invent language. Let's invent a language. And then how many languages do we have? 200 plus? 300 plus?
I think
maybe
more.
1,000?
Yeah.
Some local languages of people who live on islands, like distant islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, whatever. They have their own language. They communicate. Yeah, like this impresses me, really impresses me. And I wonder, is it possible to have one language for everybody? It is English now, kind of, but still many people around the world don't know English.
But it will be boring, right? Like
to have one language.
Yeah, because I think that your brain works differently in different languages. For example, my speech in English is different from my speech in Russian, my native language. My jokes are different. I don't know, my cognitive way of perceiving the world is a little bit different. And it's so cool to find when you're learning new languages, how the same thing are differently called in different languages, how different sayings are different. Like in some languages you have words for some things that you don't have in other languages, right?
It's called lacunas. It's called lacunas. So I graduated from the linguistic university, and I have been learning English deep for 5 years at that university, and I remember there was a notion that is called lacuna. So lacuna is something that exists only in one language and some culture, and in order to translate it to another language, you don't only need to invent a word, you also need to invent, like, to describe it. That's why it's called not the direct translation but descriptive translation. So when you, for example, just a very simple example. In Russia, we have this Russian doll. It's called Russian doll, matryoshka.
Matryoshka, yes.
Matryoshka. So this is a doll that consists of many other dolls, smaller ones that are installed into the bigger one. So, and it works like you have one doll.
Fractal.
The fractal. You have one doll, but if you open it up, you have another doll inside. And if you open it up, it was another doll, like an onion. So, matryoshka, if you say it, how can you translate it to an English language? They translated it Russian doll, but you don't really understand what is it. So that's why you need a description to understand the notion, right? So that's what is lacuna. Sorry for interrupting.
Okay, that's a good example. Yeah. So it's a perfect example, I think, yeah.
And what? Where were you?
Like, we were talking about like languages, about different languages, and I was just saying that wouldn't it be boring to have just one language, right?
Maybe you're right.
Power in diversity.
Actually, this is a very good way to put it. I have never thought this way, like that the world can be not so versatile and diverse, right? Yeah, that's very, very true. I really agree.
Yeah, so there's always two sides of the coin, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So maybe it's good. Okay, now I don't worry about that.
Don't worry.
Why this small world has so many. Yeah, right.
Chill vibes. Chill. So, but getting back, I remember we were having conversation about music and how it helps, like in processing emotions and stuff. Then we talked about Katerina Schulman, and that got lost in this
on the wrong way. Wrong way.
Wrong. It's just like in that way that sure. So I remember that was the last, like intentional topic to discuss. So we can get back to it. You asked just like, are there any people who don't like listening to music? And I just thought at least there are one. And I think there are people who are not exposed to music, because I think every person have their own thing, For some people it's music, for other that's visual arts, for third it may be sports, for others it's maybe work or family or I don't know, house routines. I don't know. So
politics, history, languages, whatever.
And it's getting us back to our initial conversation about scientists, people who, devoted their life to something. And then we go to the question that it's such a hard thing to find that in Sanskrit it's called, I think, varna and dharma. There is a saying like it's your, your calling or something like that. I'll take a sip of water.
Yeah, sure. We also call it vocation, I think. So every person has a job and also should have a vocation. This is something. No, sorry. I think I'm wrong. There is vocation and avocation. So vocation is your job, like your professional activity and stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. And avocation is something that really, attracts you, evokes you, and like you are the best when you do it. You feel better, much better. So that's what avocation means.
Yeah, so, you get into the flow state, right? There is, like this, the concept of the flow.
Exactly. So when you do something and you feel that you're in a flow state of mind, completely absorbed, and you lose the sense of time.
Yeah.
That happened to me, and that was an amazing experience. And
what were you doing?
Music, man. Yeah. Of course. So I was producing. There was some time of my life since 2018 to 2021. I was really active in music. I produced a lot, and man, I was losing the sense of time. So I sit down, started producing music, and then 3 hours left, and I didn't even notice. Like it was this feeling that I was kind of in a parallel universe where nothing else exists, just music. I was completely absorbed. And I love this feeling because I was creating it and listening to it. And when you realize that you created something that you really like and all these sounds, and you, like, if you have good speakers, you can, you can be succumbed by this sound, and you're like getting completely lost in a good sense of this word. And you're like flying. Nothing compares to this. It's better than sex, I think, to have this kind of evocation that really drives you. For many people, it's music. And in Russia, where we are from, you know that we have a lot of talented people, a lot of musicians, like very good ones that are very talented. And yeah, like, it's so cool. It was, I mean, that period of time when I was producing music, I think it's the best, to be honest.
Why don't you do that then?
Well, maybe I think because I did a lot of overwhelmed expectations about my music. That's the mistake that every music producer, every musician does, I think, because when you create something, you kind of would like to be appreciated and heard, and you would like to be famous maybe, and just heard at least. Just have 100, 2,000, 1,000 listens on Spotify, whatever. But when you don't get that, but you were so sure that you're gonna gain popularity like after this song or the next song and the next song, and you don't get it, you're burning out. And I think that what happened to me. Like, I created very high expectations to myself and to my music because I had some, I had the desire to be famous and heard, not even famous, but just heard, so that people would listen to my music and hear it and enjoy it, because I enjoy it so much. I would like to share, but I was not heard. I was only heard by my friends and stuff. So, and at some point I realized that, okay, look, I tried, but I didn't get it. I didn't make it. And I think that burned me out. And since then I okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. But maybe I'm going to get back to this. I'm happy that I got back to the podcast. So now I have this activity, a new one. This is my avocation now. So I still have my stuff, as you can see, the sound interface, the producer's computer and stuff. So maybe, just maybe. But that's what I wanted to ask you, man. Like, you're going to release an album. So first of all, congratulations with the new release. So my friend Aleks is a very good guitarist. You have been playing guitar for 15 years or something like that, since you were a kid, right?
Something like 15, 16 years maybe.
And Aleks, so he does some amazing stuff with the guitar. I mean, when he from time to time, we gather with our music group and we start jamming. Jamming is when you don't have a prepared music, you just start playing and everybody else from your music band joins and you create something as in a flow. And what Aleks does with the guitar is like amazing. He produces on the go, he produces amazing things. And like, I mean, right, just, to pay respect. So you have this last release that is called how?
Empty Room.
Empty Room.
Yeah.
So it's mostly about your anxious state of mind that you have, right? So, and it's also connected to some actions that happened recently, like this war, Russian war, Ukraine. It's affected that, right?
I think
Also,
yes.
Yeah, so it's connected to that too. And I wanted to ask you about this. So congrats with the single.
Thank you.
But I know that you have a very good album that is not released yet, but we of course heard all that songs, and I love all of them, especially about the cat.
Yeah, the cat song. Everyone loves that.
Yes. What is your plan? How are you gonna do this, and when can we expect that? Because wow. I would join that project because I love it so much. Really, yeah.
I love to hear that you would like to join the project. Okay, so there was so many questions.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you for congrats on the release. Yeah, it's called Empty Room. It's basically dedicated to my anxiety. I've always been an anxious person. I have now diagnosed with anxiety, depression disorder last year, mostly because of connected of the Russian-Ukrainian war, my immigration, isolation, and stuff. It was a project of my solo project, Sakhan, which is more of a, like grungy rock, more like dirty guitar sound. Yeah, which I produced like one song in 3 years. But the album, the material that you're talking about, that's kind of some sort of a new sound that I found recently, like maybe a year ago. It's completely different genre. It's more of a like folk pop rock thing, just like in a singing songwriter style. And I'm doing that in my native language, like writing songs. And actually, basically, first time in my life when I actually write songs in my native tongue. I always were like, I need to write in English because I need to be famous in the America or something like that. And those songs came out very naturally. It's more of a like, that's really like stories of my life, of the feelings I felt, of the thoughts I had, or the places I've visited, and they're just a reflection of all of that. And all of them were written kind of in a very sincere manner. So I never thought like how it gonna sound, if someone going to like it when I wrote that. It was just like fun to do those. And it turned out that like I wrote like about 8 or 9 songs for now. Yeah, of course I want to record them. I want them to be released. I don't have any timelines. I want to do this year. I want to release, or at least record the whole album this year. I don't know, but maybe release next year, or maybe to release a couple of singles this year. But I just like, the hard part. I don't know where to start. I do have like planned to start planning in my planner. I do have that, but I don't know. Like I have those songs written just like in drafts, like like chords and lyrics, and I can play them over guitar. I have a couple of arrangements, but I don't have a lot of arrangements, and I'm not a professional musician. I'm just like more doing that as a like very passionate hobby. So in terms of professionalism, I haven't finished any musical educational school, and I don't do that for a living. So I'm not earning money on music, like only spending a lot. Yeah, and I'm not really practicing that much. I'm doing that mostly for funsies. I practice only when I have gigs. Before gigs, I'll practice really because I want to be good at stage. But recently, I don't have any gigs. So, answering your question, I don't know when you're going to hear that. I'll need the help of a team to release that, and I'm starting to maybe find a team. I need a person who can help me with the arrangements. I need a person who can inspire me and just say, hey, you need to do that. You need to do the, hey, man, that's a great stuff. Yeah, because I'm a very anxious person. I always need that someone confirm that what I'm doing, that's, that's needed. And again, I don't want to fall in that loop that you told. I don't want to expect a lot from people about my music, because when I was writing it, I wasn't thinking about other people. I was just like pouring my soul into it, and I want to be like that I have a very easy attitude towards it. I don't like feeling that the world is ought to like my songs. The world is ought to make me famous. I don't want to be famous, actually, like really, really super famous. I would love to play a really big gig on a big stadium, maybe not as a headliner, maybe on the maybe just like on the, how do you call that, on the like first band that warms up on a warm up.
Okay.
Yeah. But when you get to a release point, that's the trap. You're like, I've put so much effort, thank you, and I want people to love me. And then some people love you. They say, that's a great song. Yeah. You get likes, you get some streamings, but there's always not enough.
Yes.
That's always, this 10 likes could be 1,000, and this 1,000 could be 10,000. This 1,000 could be 1,000,000, etc., etc. And it's never-ending loop. You're never enough. You're never satisfied. Yeah. And then you just like feel exhausted and don't want to do this anymore. And I want to go break this, and I don't know how.
That's, yeah, like say no more. I mean, I can totally relate because I went to this loop also. I fall down to this loop and never got back from that. But you did. And man, I told you many times, and I'm gonna say it again. So the songs from your upcoming album that you have, they are worth to be released. The world should know about these songs. The world should listen to these songs. I mean, totally. You should do it no matter what, no matter when, but just, you should record it, man, because these songs, they are real. All of your songs are real, but this, I think
real,
you reached
real.
real. First of all, because I think you found your own style, because all of us musicians, we are trying to copy somebody else because we would like to to associate ourselves with some musicians that we like. We would like to associate our music with the music that we like. We kind of copy it sometimes in order to get good music, to produce good music. But then at some point, when we grow as artists, as musicians, we start finding our own genre, our own style, something where we can be 100% real. And I think you're about to find it. I think with this album, you found it. Because there you truly are. First of all, because you speak your own language. Secondly, because it is first project that you do solo, right? Because before that, we were creating together, trying to help each other, and it was good. It was totally cool. But now you have another stage. It's the next stage of your development, and like good luck with the album, man. And when you record it, and when you're gonna have gigs, I'm gonna definitely take part if you want, because well, I'm a drummer. Aleks is a guitarist.
You would like to play or
play?
Okay.
Well, I would definitely perform them. Yeah, in any genre. It can be acoustic, it can be rock arrangement, it can be anything. I would love to join as a performer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So
I have a first member of my band.
Yeah, team. I mean, yeah, we are like, I think it's gonna be a reunion again one day.
Nice.
But this time, me not as a producer.
Okay. I know that's hard stuff for you. I know.
You know, because well, I think.
But I like your arrangements actually. I thought about actually asking you, but I just was, like, I don't know, touch this topic because you might feel uncomfortable. But actually, the first person I thought about my arrangements, maybe
I'm not professional. I think for this, you need a professional
for
one.
a draft of arrangement, just to get things put together a little bit, just like that I can send to professional arrangement, say, hey, I want something like that, but like professional.
That can work, I think, because to do it completely an arrangement, no, because I'm not an arrangement, right? Because I don't have skills for that. But yeah, maybe you're right. So maybe I can help with that too. But with performing 100%.
Nice. We're
Give me the paper to sign.
I actually have the paper. I have. You remember? You gave me a certificate.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I still have. There's 5 songs, 1 release, 4 more to go at least. I have the sign. I've saved it in my computer. I have that.
Yeah. Okay, so for those who are listening to us, so one day, once upon a time, back in the time, Anna, what?
Yeah.
Could you please check the cameras? I wanted to ask.
It's not working.
It's not?
Yeah.
Really? So I think we should put it, probably because...
Is it out of battery? Oh.
I'm not sure why.
No?
Is it stopped somewhere?
It stopped,
yeah.
So it was working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's put it on. How many percent does it have, the charge? What is the charge?
Oh, the card is filled.
You don't have memory.
Oh, okay. Could you please give it to me? I'm gonna
give it to me. Give it. Don't you have a cloud?
Okay, guys, pausing for a little bit. Yeah, we will be right back. Okay, we're back. So we were discussing music.
We're back in black, right?
Back in black. And NASA. Peace, man. NASA.
How do you think will NASA bring peace?
I think that's a very controversial question because imagine if some aliens arrive to this planet and they see that we are weak, they're gonna definitely want to, take power over us. It depends.
It's very
on
human way of thinking.
human way of thinking, exactly, because we don't have other ways of thinking. That's why we compare aliens to ourselves, but we don't really know. But kind of the natural state of things is when you well, it's again, it's a human way of thinking, but when you see well, actually, when we see some weak creatures, we don't usually kill them.
No.
Well, we respect it. We respect nature, right? We try to. If you are not crazy, you're not gonna kill animals and stuff.
You feel
But-
compassionate, right?
Compassionate,
Mostly
right.
when you see someone,
Yes, but we are kind of not competing with animals in this regard. But imagine the situation if aliens arrive and they need some precious resource that only Earth has. Of course they're gonna destroy. Of course they're gonna take over. Of course they're gonna, suck everything out of this planet and then, enslave everybody. I don't really know.
Oh, you say, of course, I'm so, why
Yeah,
it's so
surprised?
obvious? It's not obvious to me at all. Like you
Well-
say, they come, of course they're gonna suck everything out of the earth. They're gonna kill everyone, but
No,
it's not, of course, for me. I don't know,
Okay.
um,
Well, no, I want to believe that the aliens are good, but it's actually not
it's
my
people
opinion.
who can be such kind of aliens, and they are, because we are kind of coming to every land that's not ours and sucking everything out of that, killing
Mm-hmm.
everyone.
Yeah, you're right. But I think it's not even my opinion. I heard about it in some podcast. So I probably, translating somebody else's opinion and showing it to you right now. But yeah, I want to believe that aliens are not like humans. If they have an upper state of conscious where they respect everything and they are trying to create, not to destroy, and we're going to meet them and yeah, we're not gonna have competition, stuff like that.
I like that we're not talking if alien exists. We're just talking about aliens are that or that, not just like are they exist or not. We're just like
they definitely
they're like there is no this question here.
Waiting for you guys. Come on,
Yeah.
come here. Well, I mean, that is my desire. That is my dream to interact with aliens. Actually, the
Why?
other day, why? Because first of all, I would like to know how other way of living, other way of being a creature, like creation, could look like. And I would like ask them questions like, probably they're going to speak some other languages that we don't understand, but we're going to find a way to communicate somehow and then ask them like, how is it on your planet? Show me the pictures of your planet. How do you live? What is your, daily life and stuff like that. And I just want to live up to this moment when we discover some alien life. That is my dream. That's why when we discussed if it's good or bad to be a vampire or to have an endless life.
When did we discuss that?
Well, not we, but yeah, I discussed it with my girlfriend. Like,
Okay.
I asked her, like, would you like to be a vampire? And we had a discussion about that. We realized that it's not really cool to be a vampire. But why we discussed that? Because vampires, they can kind of live endless life, but actually they are very vulnerable,
Sure.
because, some holy water or
Some garlic.
and sunlight, and if you see some sunlight, you're gonna burn at once, and you cannot take the usual human food because you're gonna vomit right after that, and also you have to kill other creatures to drink blood like every week. Or
I don't know, like, yeah.
It's
I've
not
never been a
worth it.
vampire. Don't have any, acquaintances who are vampires, so I cannot tell for sure.
Emotional vampires.
Okay, some I met in my life. Yeah,
Yes.
so they're kind of vulnerable creatures. That's true. Okay,
Yeah.
aliens.
Aliens.
Okay, aliens. Yeah. I thought one thing that what you were telling that you like to meet another
Mhm.
completely another form of existence,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And I thought that we could also learn so much about ourselves in comparison, right?
Exactly.
How they're different, how the way of living are different, and you can better understand your way of living. I felt it when I just first moved out of my native country, when I moved to London to work, and I felt like the culture there is kind of different in some, not in basics, but in many ways. And it's just like, we do that in different ways. I never thought that it's our thing. I just thought it's a thing that everyone does.
Example.
Good example. Okay, good question. I'm always bad at examples. Let me think.
Well, what I can remember from the Turkish way of
Sockets.
living. Sockets?
Okay, sockets. That's
What is it?
The electric sockets. Okay, and they have the switcher on every socket. That's
Really?
normal. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's so.
So every socket has a switcher. Like you have a switcher for lights. So you have another, like, never had that.
But why?
To
Just to
turn
control
on
it?
turn on and off, right?
So every socket has.
Yes. Or you have, some panel that controls
Controller.
it, but normally, yes, you have for the sockets that you have out of your wall, and you have that. And for the first time, when it was confusing, it like nothing works. Why I can plug anything, and then so simple thing, just like, okay.
No, good example. But how do you think how it explains the other way of living? This example of sockets, like. They think differently about it, about the electricity and the way of
Security.
power.
I think also, yes, it's more secure than you have more control over that. You can Russian people more like, okay, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, a voice, we have that. A voice, it will be okay. A voice is like, I don't know, the word that, okay, we'll see. It's gonna turn out right or not. So we'll just
yeah, it can happen by chance, or we're gonna know. Like when you never know, but maybe we're gonna be good. Let's do it. Maybe we're gonna be good. That's what a voice means.
Yeah.
Like probably it will work, but we don't know.
Yeah, but we're just like, we'll trust that. So that kind of things, and I don't know how people celebrate things. Like New Year, for example, it's very different. Like,
how is it different?
Like people don't celebrate New Year like we used to celebrate in Russia, right? It's like more a thing. They go and have fireworks, have a drink, and just that's all. Or go to a party, like more dancing, vibe with DJs. Not like we're having that thing. They having that in like Christmas Eve, right?
Well, yeah, in Russia, I told about it to many Turk people and the rest Englishmen that I met here in Istanbul. So. Russian New Year is the most important holiday of the year. And also, we have holiday since the 1st of January to
7th?
the 10th.
No, okay,
7th or 9th. So it's
January.
like 9 days in a row when you have holidays and like you don't work. Of course, some grocery stores, they work, but the rest, it doesn't work. Like people have rest and they have a very long rest.
They drink a lot.
They drink a lot and they eat a lot. And this festive is the most important festive of the year. And people they kind of start preparing to it like in advance. And they are expecting that. They waiting for it. Like, okay, this is the end of the year. We should, to summarize all the advancements that we did during this year and to make plans for the next year. So for Russians, New Year is very important. And probably the most important celebration, I think. Yeah, it's very important. But for people in the UK, it's just one day, right? In Turkey too.
No, it's like 2 days. I think.
2 days. Yeah, in Turkey, 2nd of January, everybody goes to work. Like they don't. It's not
January.
a big.
Yeah, normally. Yeah.
But here in Turkey, they have Kurban Bayram and the other. So there are two celebrations: Kurban Bayram and Uraza Bayram. So Uraza Bayram, it's like when the period of when you don't eat meat and drink milk. What do we call it when we fastation? No.
Yes, fast.
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 Fast. Yeah. So fasting, they start fasting. Exactly. So at Uraza Bayram, they start fasting, and at Kurban Bayram, in a couple of weeks or months, they like end this fasting season and start, selling meat everywhere and eat it, cook it. And for them, for Turk people, and I think it's not only true about Turkey, but for other Turk countries, Muslim countries
For
also,
Muslim countries,
Muslim
but,
countries even more. Yeah. So that's the most important.
yeah.
It's like a new year for them.
It's like Christmas for Christian countries. Yeah, it's
exactly.
similar.
Yeah. But anyway,
every time you say anyway, I want to say, how's your sex
Sex
life?
Where is it from? Was it some movie, right?
Yeah,
Do you remember?
it's The Room.
The Room?
Yeah, you should probably Google it.
It's an old movie.
It's not very old movie, but it's a very, very strange movie. In terms of like, it's just made very, I don't know. Don't want to use any judging words, but it's absurd and ridiculously made, like the production of it. And
but it is made on purpose, right? This is the
nobody knows. The guy that is playing the main role and also who is a director and producer of that film is kind of an interesting person.
Strange. Time to be weird.
Yeah, someone maybe called him weird. Someone called him, I don't know, enlightened or so there is actually a movie about this movie. It's a comedian movie. It's called, I don't remember. I know the name in Russian. It's Горе Творец. It's with this famous comic. I forgot his name as well.
Anyway, but what is the first movie?
The Room.
The Room.
And it's what there is, like all the communication there, all of the like scenes are so unlogical, and like there is a guy, this main
character,
right? He is frustrated because his girlfriend, I don't know, shouted him and accused him of hitting her, and he comes. Enters the rooftop of a building and like very dramatically saying, "No, I did not hit her. I did not." Oh, hi, Mark. How's your sex life?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
that is very weird.
Yeah, it's so yeah, and
but it's kind of, it's not sarcasm. It's
meta irony.
Yeah,
we don't know.
When suddenly switches, when the plot suddenly switches in an unexpected way, and you're like, what?
And there is also the story how this scene was filmed. It was filmed like 50 or 60 times because the guy always forgot his words. Like, no, I did not hit her. I did not. No. Oh, hi, Mark. And like it's hilarious. Yeah. And the movie, I think you can start with that, not the original one, because like it's very nice and funny and also touching and very human. And after that, you can decide, do you want to watch the original or not?
Okay. So, but do you think it's worth us watching it?
I haven't watched the original one. I watched the movie about movie. It's good. And the story itself, it's good, and it's.
But yeah, the meme, it's so popular all over the world,
popular,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like very, very, very popular meme. Like
so
anyway, how is your sex life?
Yeah, what do you want to ask anyway?
Anyway,
remember you had a song called Anyway. I still waiting for that to be finished. I really liked it.
Yeah, it was a good song, but yeah, maybe one day, who knows? Now I have other focus. I have this podcast and people that I would like to invite and enjoy a conversation with them. So we're gonna see. Okay. But anyway, man, thanks a lot for joining the podcast. I'm not sure, guys, if it was interesting to listen or not. If it was not interesting, you probably didn't come to this point of the podcast anyway. But anyway, for those who were listening to us, thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. And we're gonna have more guests and make this podcast even better. So join next time. And Alex, thanks for coming. So tomorrow we're gonna have a birthday of our friend. Yeah. So good luck to us because we organized some cool event.
Yeah. It will be epic. It will be legendary.
It will be. So, and the next guest that I'm gonna have is probably Vlad, the guy that is having a birthday tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's gonna turn 30. So it's like a
thing.
Date.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very important. So Thanks, guys. We're gonna go sleep and rest, and you have have a good rest of the day. Ciao.
Thank you. How do you call you here in this podcast? What's your podcast name?
Podcast name. So this podcast is called Awesome Strangers because it's about strangers that I met during my lifetime, and the stories of whom impress me so much, and I would like to share these stories publicly and to be known all over the world. So yeah, your story is very unique. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have another podcast with you.
Okay, I would love. I really enjoyed that experience. Thanks for having me here. It's my first time, and really would love to explore this.
Okay,
more.
Well, then see you next time.
See you next time.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone. I hope anyone got here at this point. Yeah,
for sure.
At least I will watch it later. At this point,
Exactly.
At
at least one viewer will be.
Okay. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay.
Done.
Cool. Done.